Service blueprinting is a method for examining how a current service operates or envisioning a future service. The idea was first introduced by Lynn Shostak, former Vice President of Citibank, in an article in the Harvard Business Review in 1984. Service blueprints are a way of visually mapping out the complexity of services by aligning front-stage consumer experience with backstage business processes. As such, they offer a simultaneous user-centered and enterprise-centered focus. According to Andy Pallane, service designer and co-author of Service Design from Insight to Implementation, blueprints are to service design what 3D sketches and wireframes are to product design and UX design. Blueprints can be lo-fi, like this one, a quick prototype of how a community website could work. Or they can be more detailed and resolved, in this case detailing a car sharing scheme with Volkswagen. They can be quite functional in appearance, or more visual in the case of Maria McClellan's redesign for the College of Policing of how research can be better embedded in policing practices. But however the blueprint is designed and presented, the process is one that always invites collaboration, discussion, and shared insights. In some cases, journey maps provide a starting point for blueprinting. User interviews conducted using journey maps may suggest and identify problems and shortcomings or opportunities that can feed into the design process. The blueprint template enables the service to be considered from the viewpoint of the service user and provider over time and highlights areas for innovation or improvement. With it, we understand how different parts of a service work as a whole. We see opportunities for joining up processes. We can coordinate parallel work streams and break down barriers between different activities. Consequently, service blueprints are used to design and deliver a better service experience. They allow a better understanding of user interactions with a service over time. The service blueprint describes the user journey in addition to all the interactions that make that journey possible. In doing so, two concepts are central. The blueprint differentiates between activities and interactions that are front stage, in other words, directly seen by the user, and backstage, not seen by the user but absolutely vital to performance. In a restaurant or cafe, it's the front stage that attracts us, that makes us comfortable, that offers us choice of the service we demand. But much of the heavy lifting to allow that service to happen, that cooks the food we'll eat, is done backstage, out of sight. So let's see how all this actually works. The columns on this template refer to the different stages in the service experience: aware, join, use, maintain, leave. Now let's look at each row. The first one focuses on the user. What does the person interacting with the service or process do or experience? Next, we consider touch points. Who or what are the people, places and things that the user touches when they come into contact with the service? Continuing with front stage, we're interested here in what staff actually do, how they're interacting with the user. Meanwhile, backstage or back office, what are staff doing there? Finally, means and processes. What else is involved? What are the processes and resources needed to deliver the service or experience? So let's see how this works in the case of how we design the service provided by a hotel. What are all the elements a blueprint must address to provide a great hotel experience? Let's assume that you're looking for a hotel to stay at. Where does the experience start? Usually starts with a touch point, an advert or a website. The user or customer is attracted to the hotel offer and wants to make a reservation. They can do this via the website, or they could call the hotel directly where members of staff would field the inquiry. Backstage, staff would make a reservation for the guest, which relies on there being an effective reservation system in place. The day comes when the hotel guest arrives at the hotel and wants to check in. Touch points determine what kind of experience this is. How easy is it to find the reception area? How crowded is it? How much paperwork is needed? What information is provided? What form does the key take? Staff play a key role here in greeting the guests and processing the registration. Linked to the reservation system is the registration system, which after check-in has to be checked off by backstage staff. Our guest wants to eat. So a whole environment of touch points come together to provide a restaurant experience. And another team of front stage staff greet the diner, take their order and wait the table. These of course are different from those who cook the food, using the kitchen facilities in the hotel. And so to bed. And yet another environment of touch points provide this experience with the added option of room service. Yet another team of backstage staff clean, prepare and maintain the room, referring as they do to the room management system, which tells them whether it's towels, sheets or both that need to be changed. Finally, the guest checks out. They return to the lobby where they may encounter a payment system and taxi ordering facility. Staff process the checkout, referring back to the registration system. Finally, the closure, an email thanking them for their custom and asking for their views on their stay. Hopefully, this short video introduction will have underlined the vital role played by service blueprints in the service design process. As Professor Birgit Mager of Cologne International School of Design says, service blueprints are a tool for holistic analysis and visualization from a customer perspective, yet integrating all the provider's structure and processes that are relevant for delivering to the customer's delight.